right, so welcome back to English TV Live, everyone. This is episode number 16. Today we are going to talk all about travel. You're going to hear Lloyd and I, two native English speakers, having a conversation about travel, sharing some of our favorite travel experiences with all of you, and we hope you enjoy it.
That's right, everybody. Welcome back to English TV Live. What is it? Which episode is it now? I'm losing count, losing track.
16.
16, amazing. Welcome back to English TV Live, episode 16. My name is Lloyd, his name is Jacob, and we are your number one resource for live English lessons. If this is your first time here, head over to EnglishTVLive.com. We'll leave the link in the description of this video and join the wait list. We will be opening up our private, exclusive English community to you very soon, next week, next Wednesday. So get your name down. Don't be lazy. Go over. It takes 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 5. Just put your name and email address there, and we will be in contact with you about English TV Live.
Yes, thank you, Lloyd. And I see some people are already talking about today's topic. Sarah says, travel, my favorite topic. And that's what we will be speaking about today. So we're going to start by sharing our own travel experiences and having kind of a discussion. While we're doing that and while you're practicing your listening skills, try to share your own travel experiences in the comment section. Share your own favorite travel memories. I think that everyone probably, they think for a short period of time, has some memory that comes to mind when you think of travel. And Lloyd, why don't we start with you? What is it for you when you think of your favorite travel experience?
So I was thinking today because as you, as my followers may have noticed, I, maybe this sounds wrong. I get around a bit, right? One of my followers called me a globe trotter, which is a good word to use. A globe trotter, so obviously globe is the world, right? The world's a globe. So a globe trotter, trot is kind of a word to describe moving. If you're always moving from place to place to place, you are a globe trotter. So I think it was Morella. She, in our private group, she said, Lloyd, you're a bit of a globe trotter. You're such a globe trotter. And I am, actually. I'm always moving around. I'm in Thailand now. I was in Philippines last week. Anyway, so it's difficult for me to choose one place because I've traveled quite a lot. I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot. You know, it's not everybody has that opportunity, so obviously feel very fortunate in that respect. But it's tough because there's the difference between my favorite place and the favorite trip, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So maybe one place was more memorable, more amazing, but one trip was more fun, maybe with more fun experiences and stuff. So, having said that,
Right.
and also given that now is the World Cup, which everybody except for Jacob is interested in.
Right.
Actually, there's a game on right now, I think, Peru against France. So, um, good luck to both of them. Uh, in 2000, I have to be careful. I think we have more Peruvian followers there. So, in I'm a big football fan, big soccer fan, sorry. And in 2010, the World Cup was in South Africa. Now, my family actually lives in South Africa. We moved to South Africa after I finished high school, secondary school
I
in
never did
England.
that. That's pretty cool.
And now you know. And
Yeah.
just before the World Cup was in 2010. And just before the World Cup, I moved to South Korea. Okay. So I moved to South Korea and I was obviously very excited to go to a new country, but at the same time, I was thinking, wow, I'm going to miss the World Cup in South Africa. So as soon as I started my new job in South Africa, I requested vacation time specifically for the World Cup. And I saved up some money and then I flew back to South Africa for the World Cup. And so I went back for about 10 days. And I've got a few words actually to describe the trip. So we packed a lot into a short trip. Okay, packed a lot into a short trip. So I went to about 3 or 4 cities in 10 days. and I sampled the World Cup atmosphere. So I felt the World Cup atmosphere in my life. It's kind of another good expression is it's maybe hopefully not, but maybe it's a once in a lifetime opportunity because a World Cup is not something you can experience very often. So it was a once in a lifetime opportunity to be at the World Cup, to watch a World Cup game. Actually, I watched the Korea game actually as a Korea against Uruguay, and just being in with all the fans and all the just the atmosphere and seeing my friends at the same time. It was just a very memorable trip, and also traveling a little bit around South Africa at the same time. So when I think about that time, I have a lot of nostalgia, right? Especially if
That's a
I
good word.
hear the songs. Yeah, very good word there. Nostalgia. So I feel nostalgic. Nostalgia is the feeling, the happy feeling you have when you think about um, happy past memories. So I feel very nostalgic, especially if I hear the World Cup songs, which were on at that time. So there's one by Shakira, for example. She did the theme song, one of the theme songs for the World Cup, Waka Waka. And so if I hear that song, it sort of takes me back to that time. And so that's
Very cool.
probably, even though it's kind of random because I've traveled a lot of different places, but just that trip was very memorable for me.
Yeah, one of my most memorable stories too, actually, well, the one that I was going to tell today also centers on sport, but another one that I was thinking about while you were speaking there was a time when I flew out. It was like 2 months into my stay in Korea, and I'm a big golf fan, believe it or not. I know that it's probably weird to hear that I'm a golf fan and not a soccer fan, but
I didn't.
anyways,
We're learning a lot about each other today. I didn't
yeah,
know that.
live.
Yeah.
But also, one of my favorite travel stories was flying out to a province called Incheon, where the Professional Golf Association was holding a tournament. And I just flew out by myself. I was at the golf course all day, and it was pretty amazing. Let's go to the comments. So Sarah says,
I used to live in Incheon, by the way. Maybe you didn't know
oh,
that.
nice. Sarah says, I'll use
Let's check out the comments.
Globetrotter
Yeah.
to call my brother. He has already renewed his passport 4 times. He travels for work all the time. So Sarah's brother is also a globetrotter. Ira says it reminds me of my childhood. I traveled a lot with my parents, not abroad, but within the country. I traveled by train. I like to travel by rail as there is a lot to observe. Yeah, I've never traveled by rail, but I might be very soon to a city in Canada called Montreal. And that would be my first train ride to another city. So maybe.
What is Jacob? What is your preferred method of transport when you go traveling?
Um, Probably bus. But like I said, I've never been on a train before. So I really hate flying. I always think that the plane is going to crash when I'm on a flight.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, I had as I told you, I had
Every
a very bad flight the other day, and I
yeah,
was trying to. Do you do this? Maybe it's just me, but if the planes have got a lot of turbulence, I kind of hold on to the chair, hold on to the seat, and I feel like with my mind I can calm it down. I don't know.
yeah, I
Maybe it's
just
just
I
me.
just get I just get drunk before my flights now because I
Yeah, that's also a good
yeah,
solution. Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
solution. Yeah.
So
For
definitely
me,
not plane.
sorry. Okay, so bus. Well, for me, even though I don't love flying, but it's the fastest way. So um, I don't like I I don't like the traveling. I like traveling, but I don't like the getting there part. So I've got very long legs. Um, I'm not very patient. So flying is the best option because it gets you from A to B. It's a good expression. Gets you from A to B in the fastest time at the moment.
Hmm.
At the moment, unless there's a new technology coming soon, maybe the Hyperloop or something. Uh, but yeah, flying would be my preferred method of transport just because of the speed.
Yeah, it's definitely fast. Although I
It
heard
is very fast.
Elon Musk is trying to build some crazy train in the United States that will, at least in the United States, make traveling from coast to coast a lot quicker. Who knows? He's always up to something Something wild, that guy.
He's always got something up his sleeve. It's a good expression. He's always got something planned. Let's see some more comments here. Inez, hello. Bolor Bolortuya, hello. Marilla, hello. Iris, hello. Um, Sarah says, I'll use Globetrotter to call my. Did you read this one already? Maybe you did,
Yeah, I
sorry.
read that one.
I'll use
Yeah.
Globetrotter. I read that one, sorry. Rama says, I want to be a Globetrotter. Um, Kareem says, travel is something innate with humans. Would you agree with that, Jacob? Innate is something that is naturally inside us.
Um, I'm not sure exactly what that means, to be honest. What do you think? Like I know what innate means. I'm not sure what that sentence would mean. Like how would traveling be innate? The desire to travel might be
I,
innate. You could say more accurately.
I think that's what he means. So the
Yeah.
I agree with Kareem. I think that we have a natural curiosity to see. Well, not everybody, but most people have a curiosity to see the world around them, to explore different places, see new
Yeah.
things, try new experiences.
Although
I definitely do.
it's very clear that you do. I mean, what's
Hello?
Vancouver? Yeah, can you hear me?
Sorry, yeah, you just
He
cut out there. Yeah.
okay. He lived in Vancouver and he'd been there his entire life. And he had no desire to leave or to travel anywhere. He'd barely seen any of Canada, and he was totally okay with that. When I would speak to him about traveling, it really seemed like he had no desire to travel and to explore. And that was fascinating for me because, like you, I always want to travel.
Who were you? Sorry, you just cut off. I heard the end of the story, but who were you talking about there? Sorry.
Just a guy I used to work with.
Hmm. Yeah, you get. Yeah, some people are like that. They have somewhere they haven't been before to tick off some places on their bucket list. Bucket list is a list of things you want to do before you kick the bucket, which means die. Uh, maybe see the pyramids is a classic one. Uh, shall we read an answer from one of our private students?
Yeah, sure. Do you have it ready? I just have to go to the Facebook group quickly. It's not a problem though.
All
Actually, I
right.
can
So the
read it right
question of the
now.
day. Okay.
So the question of the day we asked our private members, what is your most memorable travel experience and why? And this is from Maria, who said, without hesitation, Australia. That's a nice way to phrase it too. Without hesitation means exactly what it seems like. She didn't even have to think about it. Without hesitation, Australia. I met awesome Aussies, excuse me, who made me feel part of their families. Besides, I caught up with my cousins who are living in Sydney, so far away from home. So weird and touching at the same time.
Yeah, very, very nice. Actually, when I lived in Spain before, I remember it was a very popular destination for a lot of Spanish people. They like Australia. I mean, a lot of people like Australia, but Spanish people seem to really have an affinity. An affinity means like uh, when you like something, an affinity for traveling to Australia. Yeah, I haven't been myself, but it sounds like a lovely time. And Maria, thank you for your comment there. It sounds like you had a great time, and you really got, this is to repeat a phrasal verb we used yesterday. It sounds like you really got along well with the Australian people, and it
Yeah,
sounds like they were very welcoming, very hospitable.
lots of Australians really love Canada. There's tons of Australians over here always, especially in these like the smaller snowboarding towns or the snowboarding areas or the surfing areas. Although there are a few surfing areas, but there are tons of Australians living in Canada.
Really, I didn't. There's a lot of Australians living in the UK, but I didn't know there's many Australians in Canada. That's very interesting.
hmm Especially in
And
Vancouver.
do you have And would you agree with Maria that Aussies are, and that's the word you can call Australians is Aussies, right? Aussies are, what did you say? Um, well, just Aussies are very friendly. Would you agree with that, Jacob?
Yeah, I would definitely would agree with that. Every Australian that I've met has been very friendly. I love the Australian accent too. Let's go to the comments.
G'day,
Risa
mate.
wants to
G'day,
know,
mate.
yeah, there you go. Risa wants to know what is the experience we can find while we travel? Well, that's a big question. I think she's asking.
What is the
Oh,
experience we can have while we travel?
yeah,
You can try different food you've never tried before. You can see different cultural traditions that you've never seen before. You can hear different languages never heard before.
yeah,
All different types of things, different buildings, different architecture, different weather.
yeah.
It's
One of
an endless list, really.
another thing too that I think is pretty interesting about traveling, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, Lloyd, is when you've spent some time away from your home country, like a lot of time over, let's say over 6 months, and then you come back to your country, you look at it in a different way. I remember when I had been in Korea for about a year and a half without coming back to Canada, and the first time I came home to visit, even just hearing English spoken on the bus was strange. I remember when I went to
Mm.
Calgary in the winter here in Canada, it's very common to freeze ponds and go skating outside. We call them outdoor ice rinks. And I looked at that and I was like, that's a pretty uniquely Canadian thing to do, to just go skating outside. And you just look at your own culture and your own country in a different way, I think, after you've spent time abroad.
Yeah, you can learn to maybe appreciate things that you didn't appreciate before. Maybe you can learn some
Yeah,
different
definitely.
things from other cultures. So I think there's endless benefits from traveling, definitely. So who is that? Risa who made that comment?
Yes, that was Risa.
Well, Risa, pack your bags, get out there, go and explore the world. But without further ado, I think we should head over to the private group where we're going to continue talking about our travel experiences. We're going to ask our private members to share their own travel experiences on camera with Jacob. If that's
Yeah.
Does that sound good to you, Jacob?
Yeah, it does. So today's the interview show. In our private group, we invite English learners like you onto camera with either Lloyd or myself, and we have conversations. So, like we said at the beginning of this episode, if you guys are interested in becoming a member of our private community, make sure to follow the link in the description of this video. Join the waitlist on our website. We're going to be opening it very soon. We're excited about it. We really think that it's going to be something that will help you take that English to the next level. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode and enjoy the weekend. We'll be back on Monday, right?
We will indeed. Yeah, so go and book your ticket wherever it is you want to travel. Pack your bags,
Right.
and we will see. But come back by Monday to join us again on English TV Live, and have a fantastic weekend, everybody. We will talk to you very soon.
Bye bye.